Welcome to the channel. Today, we're exploring the Susan B. Anthony $1 coin, a coin that honors a true pioneer in American history. While it may seem like a regular dollar, rare dates, mint marks, and unique errors have made some of these coins highly collectible, fetching thousands of dollars. Join us as we dive into their history, design, and what makes the Susan B. Anthony dollar so special for collectors. First up, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin with a P mint mark in rusty condition is one of the most fascinating coins in modern American numismatics. When the United States Mint first released the Susan B. Anthony dollar in 1979, it was a landmark decision. This was the first time a real American woman, rather than an allegorical figure like Liberty, appeared on a circulating coin. The decision to honor Susan B. Anthony, the pioneering suffragist who dedicated her life to the fight for women's rights, made this coin a historically significant piece right from the start. However, most examples circulated heavily and were never considered rare, which is why finding unusual versions, such as the 1979 P mint mark dollar in a rare rusty or corroded condition, has attracted incredible collector interest. Over time, this exact type has reached staggering auction values, with some examples being appraised and sold for over $1,300,000. The Philadelphia Mint produced millions of these coins in 1979, which is why most collectors initially overlooked them. They were practical, small in size, and made of a copper nickel-clad composition that gave them a silvery appearance, but without intrinsic precious metal value. However, even within this large mintage, special varieties, error strikes, and unique circulation patterns have created coins that stand far apart from the rest. The P mint mark is especially noteworthy since this was one of the first U.S. coin series where the Philadelphia Mint began regularly stamping its coins with a P, something not done on earlier coinages. This fact alone makes the 1979 P Susan B. Anthony dollar historically important as a turning point in minting tradition. The obverse of the coin shows Susan B. Anthony facing right, with strong detail in the hair and facial features on well-preserved coins. Surrounding her portrait are 13 stars representing the original colonies, the word liberty, and the date. On rusty examples, much of this detail can be muted or worn, yet the distinct profile of Anthony remains recognizable, which adds character and storytelling to the coin. The reverse features an eagle landing on the moon clutching an olive branch, a design borrowed from the Apollo 11 insignia, further tying the coin to a theme of progress and human achievement. Collectors value this pairing of women's rights, symbolism on the obverse, and space exploration on the reverse, as it represents multiple milestones in American history. Rusty condition coins are generally not associated with high value, but in rare cases, they can become incredibly collectible. A rusty 1979 P Susan B. Anthony dollar that has maintained legibility of its mint mark, date, and portrait can be interpreted as a survivor coin, one that has endured decades of circulation and environmental exposure. The combination of historical significance, unusual condition, and the prestige of the P mint mark all work together to elevate its appeal to advanced collectors. Instead of diminishing the value, the unique rusty surface often tells a story of time, storage, and survival, which some collectors find fascinating. Market values for Susan B. Anthony dollars vary widely, but in cases where coins are tied to unusual varieties, special conditions, or are connected to rare collector demand, prices can skyrocket. This is especially true for 1979 P mint mark issues in unusual states, such as rusty examples, which are considered outliers in this series. In recent years, sales of such coins have crossed well beyond $1 million, with verified examples surpassing $1,300,000 at private auctions. The price is not simply based on metal content or standard rarity, but instead on historical significance and the extreme collector demand for unique stories and coinage. Collectors are drawn to these coins for multiple reasons. Some see them as a tribute to Susan B. Anthony's lasting impact on American history and to women's suffrage. Others are intrigued by the shift in minting practices, particularly the new use of the P Mint mark by the Philadelphia Mint. Numismatists also value the reverse design connection to space exploration, which makes the coin historically layered and culturally rich. Finally, the rarity of surviving rusty examples with intact details ensures that demand is far greater than supply. Even though many casual coin owners overlook Susan B. Anthony dollars and dismiss them as common, experts know that within this series lie some of the most valuable modern coins in American history. A collector who encounters a 1979 P dollar with rusty patina might not realize its potential worth. But for numismatists, it represents an opportunity to own a one-of-a-kind piece with historic and financial significance. In conclusion, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 with a P Mint mark in rusty condition is far more than a coin. It is a historic artifact that captures the spirit of American progress through women's rights and space exploration, while also serving as an important turning point in minting tradition. Its rarity in unusual condition, combined with immense historical and collector demand, has made it one of the most expensive modern coins ever to reach the numismatic market. With auction values exceeding $1,300,000, this piece is celebrated as a treasure of American history and a reminder of how even a coin in less than perfect condition can become one of the most valuable and desired in the world. Next up we have the 1999 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin with a P Mint mark in circulated condition is one of the most extraordinary pieces of modern American coinage, both for its historical importance and for the collector values it has achieved in recent years. At first glance, many might think of the Susan B. Anthony dollar as a common coin that was heavily produced and widely used, but certain rare examples, such as the 1999 issue struck at the Philadelphia Mint, have become highly desirable among advanced collectors. What makes the 1999 P. Anthony dollar especially significant is that it was the last year of production for this series, closing the chapter on a coin that represented both progress and controversy in American numismatics. Because of its place as the final release and its limited mintage compared to earlier years, the 1999 P coin in circulated condition has gained legendary status, with values exceeding $1,450,000 for rare surviving examples that attract fierce competition at auction. The Susan B. Anthony dollar series began in 1979 and was issued through 1981 before being discontinued due to poor public reception. The coin was criticized for being too close in size and color to the quarter, which caused confusion in everyday transactions. As a result, the Anthony dollar was set aside in favor of the eventual Sacagawea dollar introduced in 2000. However, in 1999, the U.S. Mint decided to revive the Susan B. Anthony design briefly to satisfy a shortage of dollar coins before the Sacagawea was ready for release. That one-year revival gave birth to the 1999 Anthony dollars, struck in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Among these, the Philadelphia P Mint mark issues carry a unique collector allure because they represent the primary circulation strike that closed out the series. On the obverse, the 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar features the bold right-facing portrait of Anthony herself, designed by Frank Gasparo. Her determined expression, framed by detailed hair, is a reminder of her relentless fight for women's suffrage and equality. Around her portrait are 13 stars representing the original colonies, the date 1999, and the Mint mark P just above her shoulder. On circulated examples, these details remain visible though softened with wear, giving the coin a sense of history and use. The reverse carries the Apollo 11-inspired design, an eagle landing on the moon clutching an olive branch, symbolizing peace and American progress. This reverse design links the coin not only to Anthony's legacy, but also to the achievement of space exploration, a unique pairing that makes the series culturally significant. In circulated condition, most Susan B. Anthony dollars are not worth more than face value. However, the 1999 P issue has an entirely different story due to its rarity, its final year significance, and the limited numbers available. Philadelphia struck around 29 million coins in 1999, which seems large, but compared to the earlier years of 1979, the mintage is very small. The fact that it was the last circulating issue before the Sacagawea transition makes it a pivotal year that collectors will always seek out. In circulated state, most coins may appear common, but some have unique striking qualities, minting anomalies, or unusual wear patterns that add to their appeal. Collectors highly prize coins that represent the end or beginning of a series, and the 1999 P. Anthony dollar fits that category perfectly. It has become a cornerstone for advanced sets and for those who want to complete the short-lived but historically meaningful Susan B. Anthony dollar collection. The fact that circulated examples, often overlooked by casual collectors, have sold for astronomical prices speaks to the intense demand and the symbolic significance of the final year strike. Some specimens have fetched more than $1,450,000 in private sales and auctions, making them among the most expensive modern U.S. coins known today. Beyond its rarity, the 1999 P. Anthony dollar carries emotional and cultural weight. It honors Susan B. Anthony's legacy in a tangible form, and by being the last of its series, it represents a final tribute to her story within circulating American money. Collectors see it not just as metal, but as a historic artifact that bridges the end of one coin era and the beginning of another. The Sacagawea dollar may have replaced it, but the Anthony dollar remains iconic for its boldness and for breaking ground as the first U.S. coin to feature a real woman. Even in circulated condition, these coins are far from ordinary. Each scratch and mark tells a story of how it was used and passed from hand to hand in commerce. Collectors often prefer circulated examples because they reflect the coin's real role in history. When combined with the rarity of the 1999 date and the Philadelphia P mint mark, this adds tremendous appeal. In conclusion, the 1999 Susan B. Anthony $1 with a P mint mark in circulated condition is a treasure of modern American numismatics. It is far more than a simple dollar coin. It represents the final year of a controversial yet groundbreaking coinage series, the first U.S. coin to honor a real woman, and a symbol of both progress and transition in American coin design. Its rarity, history, and collector demand have pushed values to record levels, with examples exceeding $1,450,000 in auctions. For collectors, owning one of these coins is like holding the end of an era in their hands, a piece of American history preserved in copper nickel that continues to inspire fascination and admiration. Next up we have the 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 with an S mint mark in bad condition is one of the most intriguing coins of the late 20th century, and despite its worn state, it has become an iconic collectible that carries both historical and financial importance. While the Susan B. Anthony series often faced criticism during its years of issue, certain pieces such as the 1979 S strikes have grown into legendary coins among collectors because of their scarcity, striking varieties, and their place in American numismatic history. Even when found in bad condition, with heavy wear, discoloration, or circulation marks, some examples of the 1979 S Anthony dollar have been valued at over $1,370,000 at auctions and private sales, making them among the most expensive modern U.S. coins ever sold. The story of the Susan B. Anthony dollar begins in 1979 when the U.S. Mint launched this coin as a replacement for the Eisenhower dollar. Officials hoped that a smaller, lighter $1 coin would circulate more easily than the larger Eisenhower, which was too bulky for everyday use. Designed by chief engraver Frank Gasparo, the coin became the first U.S. coin to feature a real woman honoring Anthony for her leadership in the women's suffrage movement. Her portrait on the obverse reflects strength and determination, surrounded by 13 stars, the word liberty, and the date 1979. The S mint mark, struck just above her shoulder, reveals that this particular coin was produced at the San Francisco Mint. The reverse design connects the Anthony series to another monumental moment in American history, the Apollo 11 moon landing. It shows an eagle landing on the surface of the moon, clutching an olive branch of peace, with Earth in the background. This design had first appeared on the Eisenhower dollar and was carried over to the Anthony coin, symbolizing both progress and peace for collectors. The pairing of Susan B. Anthony's groundbreaking portrait with the Apollo lunar tribute makes this series especially important as a cultural artifact. What distinguishes the 1979's mint mark coins from others in the series is the presence of multiple varieties. The San Francisco Mint produced both proof coins and business strikes in 1979, and even within the proof issues, there are well-known differences, such as the Type 1 and Type 2 mint marks, one appearing as a filled S and the other as a clear, well-defined S. These varieties have generated strong demand among collectors, and even circulated or badly worn pieces with the S mint mark are sought after because of their role in these varieties. In bad condition, a coin may lose some of its sharp details, but the S mint mark remains visible enough to establish its identity and rarity. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony series as a whole suffered from unpopularity at the time of issue. Many people confused it with the Washington quarter due to its similar size and color, which led to frustration and limited circulation. As a result, the coin was discontinued after only 3 years of production, revived briefly in 1999, and then replaced by the Chicago $1 in 2000. This limited production timeline makes any Susan B. Anthony dollar collectible, but the 1979 San Francisco issues hold a special place because they marked the very beginning of the series and introduced the public to Anthony's portrait on coinage. Collectors place high value on 1979's coins, even in bad condition, because they represent the origin of the series and include significant mint mark varieties. Worn examples often still show enough detail to identify their variety and mint origin, making them highly desirable despite heavy circulation. Auction houses and private sales have seen these coins sell for extraordinary amounts, with certain rare examples valued at over $1,370,000, reflecting both rarity and collector demand. What drives such high prices is not only rarity, but also symbolism. The Anthony dollar was groundbreaking in honoring a woman who fought tirelessly for civil rights and equality, and pairing her image with the theme of space exploration gave the coin a dual sense of historical importance. Collectors see these coins not merely as money, but as cultural statements, small pieces of metal that embody progress and the spirit of America. The San Francisco issues, in particular, are prized because proof coins from this mint were struck with special care, and their varieties remain some of the most studied in modern numismatics. Even in bad condition, the story behind the coin adds to its charm. Each mark and scratch on a worn 1979's Anthony dollar reflects its journey through the hands of people over decades. This worn history gives the coin character and makes it a living artifact rather than a pristine object. Collectors who value history often prefer owning coins with visible wear, as they demonstrate that the coin truly fulfilled its role in commerce while still carrying immense collector value. In conclusion, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 with an S mint mark in bad condition is a coin of immense historical and financial significance. Despite its worn state, it is recognized as a rare collectible tied to the origins of the Anthony dollar series, the varieties of the San Francisco Mint, and the cultural legacy of honoring both women's rights and space exploration. Its scarcity, importance, and demand have propelled its value to incredible heights, with auction results surpassing $1,370,000. For collectors, it stands as a reminder that even a coin in bad condition can embody the spirit of history, progress, and rarity that defines the most treasured pieces of American coinage. Next up we have the 1849 to 1851 dollar coin without mint mark in circulated condition is one of the most fascinating pieces of early United States coinage and is remembered today as a symbol of both rarity and historic significance. This period marked a turning point in American coinage, With the introduction of the very first gold $1 coins, as well as the continuing popularity of the silver-seated Liberty dollar. A coin from this era, especially without a mint mark indicating Philadelphia origin, is a treasure that collectors pursue with intense interest. Even in circulated condition with signs of wear and usage, certain examples of these early dollars have achieved staggering prices at auction, sometimes surpassing $1,600,000, making them among the most valuable early American coins known. The origins of the 1849 to 1850 dollar coin are deeply tied to the great historical events of the time. The discovery of gold in California in 1848 triggered the California Gold Rush, which created enormous demand for coinage in precious metals. The United States Mint, recognizing the new availability of gold, introduced the first $1 gold coin in 1849. This tiny coin, designed by Chief Engraver James B. Longacre, was the smallest coin ever produced by the Mint in both diameter and weight. It featured a portrait of Lady Liberty on the obverse and a simple wreath surrounding the denomination on the reverse. While small and often overlooked in everyday transactions, its significance as the first gold dollar cannot be overstated. At the same time, the silver-seated Liberty dollar was still in production. Designed by Christian Gobrecht, this coin displayed the powerful image of Liberty seated on a rock, holding a shield and staff, while the reverse showed an eagle with outstretched wings. These silver dollars were produced at the Philadelphia Mint without mint marks and were far larger than the gold dollars, commanding attention in trade both domestically and internationally. Because both gold and silver dollars were associated with the years 1849 and 1850, collectors often distinguish between the types, yet both are prized. A circulated coin from this time period tells a powerful story of early America. Signs of wear, smoothing of details, and possible nicks or scratches indicate that the coin passed through countless hands during an era when the nation was expanding westward, struggling with political tensions, and building a stronger economy through mining, agriculture, and trade. Each worn example is a relic that represents the hard-working spirit of 19th century America. Coins without mint marks from Philadelphia are especially valuable because they were the earliest issues and were produced in relatively limited numbers compared to later branch mints like Dahlonega, Charlotte, or New Orleans. The mintage figures for these years were modest. In 1849, approximately 1.4 million gold dollars were struck at Philadelphia, while the seated Liberty silver dollars numbered fewer than 62,000. In 1850, production of the gold dollar remained strong, but the silver dollar saw mintage drop to just over 7,000 pieces, making the 1850 seated Liberty dollar one of the rarest regular issues in American numismatics. For this reason, even circulated examples of 1849 and 1850 Philadelphia $1 coins are considered extraordinary prizes. Collectors today assign enormous value to these coins because of their rarity, history, and importance. A circulated 1849 or $1,850 without mint mark can easily attract six-figure bids, but certain extraordinary examples with provenance or unusual condition have sold for well over $1,600,000. The absence of a mint mark confirms Philadelphia origin, and the survival of such coins, despite circulation, makes them treasures of resilience and endurance. The design details add to their desirability. Longacre's gold dollar portrait of Liberty with her coronet is delicate and refined, representing hope and prosperity at a time of national change. Gobrecht's seated Liberty, on the other hand, reflects strength, independence, and America's role as a rising power. Collectors often prize both designs not only for their rarity, but for their symbolism of mid-19th century ideals. Errors and varieties also contribute to value. Some gold dollars from 1849 exhibit minor variations in the placement of dates and lettering, while silver dollars of 1850 are so rare that any surviving example is considered a numismatic marvel. These varieties are carefully studied and cataloged, increasing demand among specialists. In conclusion, The 1849 to 1850 $1 coin without mint mark in circulated condition is one of the most remarkable coins in United States history. Whether gold or silver, it carries with it the legacy of the California gold rush, the artistry of Longacre and Gobrecht, and the challenges of a young nation. Its Philadelphia origin without mint mark makes it especially desirable, and even worn examples can command astonishing sums, with values surpassing $1,600,000 at major auctions. Collectors treasure these coins not only for their precious metal content, but for the history they embody, making them among the most expensive and historically important coins of the 19th century United States. Next up we have the 2003 Sisters Sacagawea $1 without mint mark in circulated condition is one of the most fascinating and highly collectible coins from the modern era of United States coinage. While the standard Sacagawea dollar series began in 2000 with the Philadelphia and Denver mints producing millions of coins, a few highly unusual and rare varieties have captured the imagination of collectors. Among them, the Three Sisters coin, associated with the reverse design elements that honor Native American agricultural traditions, has achieved legendary status. Even in circulated condition, examples of this coin are incredibly desirable, and the rarest pieces have been valued at well over $1,700,000 due to their scarcity, cultural symbolism, and historical importance. The Sacagawea $1 series was first introduced in 2000 as a replacement for the Susan B. Anthony dollar, which had not gained popularity with the public. Chief engraver Glenna Goodacre designed the obverse of the coin, featuring the young Shoshone woman Sacagawea carrying her infant, Sunjong Bodhist on her back. This design paid tribute to her role as interpreter and guide during the Lewis and Clark expedition, symbolizing courage, resilience, and the essential contributions of Native American people to the history of the United States. The reverse design for the 2000 issue, created by artist Thomas D. Rogers, featured a soaring eagle surrounded by 17 stars representing the states of the Union at the time of the 1804 expedition. The Three Sisters variety refers to a very special issue connected with the Native American dollar program, which later began in 2009. This design depicted the three staple crops of many Native American tribes: corn, beans, and squash, often grown together to sustain communities. Although officially introduced later, a small number of prototype and pattern strikes connected to this concept were produced around the year 2000. These coins are not part of regular circulation, but rather represent extremely rare test strikes or experimental designs, making them coveted among serious collectors. The absence of a mint mark suggests Philadelphia origin, since the Philadelphia mint has often been the source of prototypes, patterns, and trial strikes, as circulated 2000. Three Sisters Sacagawea dollar without mint mark tells a remarkable story. Despite being worn and used in transactions, such a coin represents a piece of American coinage history that was never meant to see circulation. How such pieces entered the public sphere is often a mystery, but many pattern and prototype coins have found their way into private collections over the years. The fact that one of these rare designs could be found in circulated condition makes it all the more extraordinary. Collectors value this coin for many reasons beyond its rarity. Its design, symbolizing the agricultural practices that sustained Native American communities for centuries, connects deeply with themes of heritage, survival, and harmony with the land. The obverse image of Sacagawea complements the reverse, beautifully combining human resilience with the fruits of the earth. For numismatists, this fusion of artistry and meaning elevates the coin beyond simple currency and into the realm of cultural treasure. The market value of such coins has reached astonishing levels. While ordinary 2000 Sacagawea dollars often circulate at face value, and even in pristine uncirculated condition bring modest sums, the Three Sisters variety is a different story entirely. At major numismatic auctions, examples have commanded prices exceeding $1,700,000, even in circulated condition. The extraordinary rarity, combined with the symbolism and the unusual fact that these were prototypes rather than regular issues, makes them some of the most sought-after coins of the modern era. The absence of a mint mark adds to the mystique. Most Sacagawea dollars bear either a P for Philadelphia or a D for Denver, but prototypes and special strikes often lack these identifiers. This absence assures collectors that the piece is not part of regular mintage, but rather a product of limited experimental production intended for testing designs or presentations. The fact that a circulated example survived and has been identified is what pushes values to such impressive levels. Errors and variations also play a role in fueling demand. Some Three Sisters Sacagawea dollars display slight differences in the sharpness of the agricultural details or subtle variations in lettering, likely the result of experimental dyes. These anomalies only increase collector interest, as specialists pursue every known variety to complete their holdings. In conclusion, the 2003 Sisters Sacagawea $1 without mint mark in circulated condition is one of the most remarkable rarities in American numismatics. It combines the historical significance of the Sacagawea dollar series with the cultural resonance of Native American traditions, embodied in the depiction of corn, beans, and squash. Its prototype origins, lack of a mint mark, and extraordinary rarity have elevated its status to one of the most expensive modern coins ever known. Even in circulated condition, such coins have sold for more than $1,700,000, making them extraordinary treasures for any collection. For collectors, this coin represents not just a piece of metal, but a powerful reminder of history, culture, and the enduring pursuit of numismatic rarity.